Yes, yes. What's going on, guys? My name is Eddie Transcendent, and you are currently either tuned in, watching, or listening to Transcendent Outlook, where it is our mission here to be your daily oasis of positive vibes. And that's the plan. The plan is to share some good stuff that's happening, not only here in our city of Bridgeport, but just all around. With the idea being that you get, you get some of that good stuff that's happening, and hopefully you understand that there's a lot good that's happening that we're not looking at, that we're not noticing, and that we could take from. And I think that today's interview is going to be one of those interviews where you're gonna hear a story, and you're gonna hear about how someone was able to take something that most of us might look at like, and he really made it into something. And he did that because he felt an emptiness that a lot of us feel. And I don't want to give too much of his story, but I do think that that if you're watching this little intro, stay for at least the first 5 or 10 minutes, and I promise you'll stay for the whole hour. Without further ado, Frankie, what's going on, man?
What's going on, guys? What's going on? TV land. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you for this chance to be on the.
Listen,
be on this.
it's my privilege, man. I think first of all, before we even get started, I'm gonna fix my shirt. Which, by the way, if you're listening to the podcast, we're both wearing a red sweater. This is crazy. It wasn't planned. I was doing interviews today, so I've been switching in and out of clothes, and I just happened to wear the red one for this one. And that's just the way it happened. But I think that as we get started, before we really get started, I just want to say thank you, man, because for what seems like years now, probably 5 or 6 years, you've been like supporting my work, I mean, anything as simple as like a like and sharing and whatever. And I didn't even know you. Like I went to school with your wife, but it was just like we went to the same school. It's not like we was cool. I don't think I've ever spoken to her as kids. So for me, like to see that from what could be like a stranger was like super important because that's the point. That's the point of what we do. That's the point of what I do. What I do is to be able to hopefully impact somebody. And I think that by you liking something or sharing something, that means it impacted you. Maybe not like
Absolutely.
crazy, right? But
Absolutely.
just enough for you to want to share it on your page.
Absolutely, just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit that we could all do counts. And
Yeah.
I think that that's what's missing around everywhere right now.
Mhm.
From community, from wanting to learn something, taking that chance to want to learn something
Yeah.
or put your money where your mouth is, and go find find yourself, find your goal, find that purpose. And we all have it. We just gotta, we really gotta go get it, and it's not going to be handed to us. And that's what I had to realize. That's what really I had to realize.
No, we're gonna get into that in a minute. I think that's important. I just did. If you guys are watching, I did an interview with DJ Santo, International Santo. So please go check that out right here on YouTube or on Spotify, wherever you're at.
Check it out.
But we talked about that. We talked about passion, purpose, and having a gift, and for me, and I think Santo agreed, and maybe you agree as well. But I feel like what I found in my journey is that we all have a purpose. And I believe that everybody's purpose is the same purpose. And that's the
Absolutely.
purpose. The purpose is to give back. So it's your job to give something back because you were given life. Whatever you believe in, if you believe in God, the universe, Allah, your parent, whatever you believe in,
That's right.
you got life. So it's your job to give something back. Like, yo, thank you. Here, I woke up again. Here.
Yes.
So the purpose is to give something back, but it's our job to discover what the gift is because the gift will open up the idea of what do we give back.
Absolutely.
Right. And so once we discover our gift, we can then kind of figure out, okay, this is what I'm supposed to give back. And so that's kind of like what you're talking about a little bit, right?
Yes. And I think that every day in our everyday lives, I think we get caught up a lot. We don't give each other that praise. We forget about, saying, thank you to somebody, or just that sharing, or just that liking. We're just so fast on doing things, on giving back. And even myself, as within these last 5 to 6 years, I've learned to give back in so many different ways, whether it's my family time, whether it's to my job, whether it's to people in my community, whether it's to show my children to do better.
Yeah.
We gotta, and it's hard. It really is. I was stuck at one point. I was really stuck. And to see myself now, it took a lot of digging, but I found it. And we got to just dig. We really got to dig because we all got it. And,
Yeah.
and when I watch you,
Yeah.
literally, when I turn you on, it turns me on. It turns me, wow, look at this young Latin king doing things for his community, doing things for the people, putting other people up on pedestals, such as myself being here today, being able to show my sneakers, my story on how I got here. Those things we really got to dig. And, seeing you're digging.
Yeah.
Anybody who hasn't checked out Eddie, I mean, it's nuts because it's just inspirational. And from a sneakerhead, if I meet a sneakerhead out on the street, I'm thankful to meet that sneakerhead because he don't know that sneakerhead just taught me something. I'm not against him for he just got better retros than I do.
Yeah.
I never think that way, and that's big in this game. You know, you go to the conventions, you'll see people walk by your table and give you, and I'm blessing them because I'm doing it. You know, and I know how I do it, and he should be able to do his, and he's doing his great. Give that dude some love. You know?
Yeah.
Push that brother.
No, let's back up a little bit or whatever.
Sorry, I'm getting deep.
No. Let's talk about the Trendy Academy, right? So when you start looking at my stuff and I'm like, yo, who's this dude? I'm looking in and I'm seeing or whatever, and I'm like, oh yeah, he a mailman, whatever, right? But then I start seeing that you posting up, or you're selling, you know, whatever. You're selling these shoes or you're selling this shirt, whatever. And I'm like, he's flipping. He's what I do. He's flipping stuff, whatever. And I'm like, all right, cool. But then I start seeing, like, as the months and years go by, that it's getting bigger.
Yes.
Like, it's getting bigger and you're doing this thing. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe he left his job and this is what he's doing. But then I'm looking and I'm like, oh no, he's still doing that too. So what is he doing? And so that's when I was like, yo, I need to bring this dude on so we could talk about the Trendy Academy. What is the Trendy Academy and how did it happen? But before we can even get there, let's talk about a little bit about you and who's Frankie.
Well, Frankie, I have a twin brother.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Like identical?
Nah, we're fraternal.
Okay.
You probably know him.
Oh, for real?
And there's 5 of us.
Yeah.
5 boys. I'm the oldest of 5 boys. So I had to really be that leader. You know, I really had to be the leader. My mom working 3 jobs, struggling. And it built me to a character of just helping people, you know, liking to have fun, liking to party. I come from a place where, you know, calm, but I like to get wild, music, family. But other than that, I just really, as an older man now, and I just consider myself just a worker, man, just liking to work and liking to making sure that I'm using my time wisely and just being family. I'm always with my family. If anybody runs into me, I'm either with my son, my daughter, or my wife. And, you know, that's just me, man, just my sneaker game and mailman.
So you grew up here and you were raised here, or?
I was born in Manhattan Women's Hospital. 2 months later, we moved to Bridgeport. I've been here ever since. Bridgeport is my home. Bridgeport is where I live today. Bridgeport is my community. It's the best place that I've ever been. And here we are today, man, and it's still beautiful.
So at what point do you does it start? Does this, you know?
Well, this started, you know, I got my job as a mailman. I was doing good. I was just a CCA. CCA is like, you know, they beat you up. You're in there 70, 80 hours a week, you know.
Yeah.
I'm making great money. And I kept finding myself in the same spot. But I wasn't realizing that the same spot was only happening because I was allowing it.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to do that. So now I'm sitting at night and I was getting these cries, like literally, I would wake up and just 2 a.m. and just start crying, like literally crying. And my wife would always wake up and, hey, why are you crying? And I would give her the same thing, you know, that nothing. I think we should be doing more. Like, what do you mean doing more? And, you know, we need to be doing more. I don't know, but I didn't know what.
Yeah.
And she said, well, whatever you're going to do, I'm going to back you up, but go. You know, she let me. You know, she said, whatever you need, let's talk about it and we'll get it done. And I remember one day I wasn't on Instagram at the time. I was just starting to learn it. And I looked, and my first video was a 16-year-old boy from Venezuela who moved to the United States. Look at that. And he came here.
Yeah.
And his dad was a lawyer in LA. And he asked his dad, and he put it on video. I showed my wife this video. And he's showing his father how, hey, Dad, if you could give me $5,000, you know, I could show you what to do with it. The father asked him, what's he going to do with it? Father said, oh, okay, I'm going to trust you with this. He knew his son was smart. He took and he showed me what I needed to know, which is retail arbitrage. Yeah. Write that down, retail arbitrage. Anybody who wants to start this is how I started.
Yeah.
Big box stores. You got Burlington. And these are big secrets, I'm telling you. My wife would be nuts right now. Burlington, Marshalls.
But hold on, but let's be real. I mean, it really isn't a secret. Like it really isn't a secret. If you Google this stuff, it's gonna come up. Yes. It's out there. It's just a matter of you going to do it because here's the thing. It's one thing for you to know it. Like you can tell me this stuff all you want. I'm probably not gonna do it. Like it's just not my thing. Like you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so like I get like the secret thing, but at the same time, like you really got to put in the work.
Yes. Well, that's where that comes in. And then again, being from the urban community, you know, there's a lot of things that I wasn't brought up knowing. You know, my
Yeah.
mom had 3 jobs. My mom didn't go to college. My dad didn't go to college. They didn't know stock. They didn't know, you know, Roth IRAs. You know, they didn't know the SP 500 like I know now. You know, all those things I've recently learned. And those
Yeah.
are things that my kids are sitting down learning today. And that's what we got to do today. So sitting back on that bed crying. And when I found this young kid and I'm watching, he's watching. Look, I just paid $16.99. You scan right here. Look at what it's just sold for. $89.99. That's leaving me with a profit of $63. I watched him for a whole year before I bought one item. I'm not lying. A whole year. And
Yeah.
she was catching me on my phone.
Yeah.
And finally, I was going to Puerto Rico for the first time. And my brothers caught me
Yeah.
laughing by myself, going, this is it. And his girlfriend was like, hey, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, it's going to happen. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I have to think of a name because we're going to open up a clothing business. I'm going to start on eBay.
Yeah.
You know, they laughed at me and whatever. And I came home and I swear to God, I took $500 and I did it. Literally,
Yeah.
$500. And I went and I think it was just Nike sweaters, you know, Nike hoodie. And it's giving you to scan. And I was scanning and I'm going, wait a minute, $88, it's $12.99. Take it. Put it up on eBay and literally, cha-ching, cha-ching. I'm sitting places and cha-ching, cha-ching. And these cha-chings are letting you know you sold something. And here I go, going, wait a minute. I went and I took almost $15,000
Yeah.
and I started literally patterning myself on what to buy.
Yeah.
You know, what's the hottest thing selling on eBay? You
Yeah.
have to look, you know,
Yeah,
you have to do your
research.
research. If you're not going to do this, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
If you think you're just buying stuff to do it, people were telling me, hey, Frank, guess what? What? I just came here and I bought this. It's going to sell for $80. Did you scan it? No, but just by looking at it, that's not how this works.
Yeah.
I never told you to buy anything and sell it. What I'm telling you is they're giving you the tool to scan something, and it's telling you right there, and they're giving you the deductions. That's what you're taking home. When I showed my wife this and how it worked, she gave me the okay, go. Spend another 1,000, another 1,000, another 1,000. Now nobody knew that I was doing this, but people that were coming over my house were going into where I house my stuff and go, wow, holy crap, what's going on here? And I'm like, man, I got a full-blown business on eBay.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, I started, and believe it, it doesn't come, you're not going to get a cha-ching overnight.
Yeah.
So I'm not selling you a dream here that you're going to buy sneakers and you're going to sell them. If you're not networking, if you're not talking, if you're not using the internet, if you're not moving,
Yeah.
you're not going to move this stuff.
So let's back up a little bit.
Sorry.
No, you good. Let's back up. Now, how long ago are we talking about when you started?
This is 6-7 years ago.
All right, so 6-7 years ago, you're obviously you're feeling some kind of an emptiness. You feel like something's missing, right? So I want to just talk about that a little bit because I think that's the part right there where I want, you know, anybody who's listening, anybody who's watching, to understand how this kind of came about from those thoughts of like, man, like I'm not doing enough, like I got whatever, but I need something else. I don't know what it is. I got a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I got kids that I love. Right, there's you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got a good job, like, you know what I mean? Like, is it legit, like, you know what I mean? Employment, but it's something missing. So I want to like talk about that a little bit. Like,
I knew that there was something missing and I didn't know. And every day I was doing the same thing though. I was doing the same thing, getting out of work, taking off my socks and, you know, sitting down and feeling good, eating, right? And I'm saying to myself, wow, I get out at 4 or 5:30. There's still time. There's literally still time. And so I'm sitting there going through this and I'm relishing and my wife is still calm down. And I just didn't know what this emptiness was. You know, I was crying to my brother and he would relax. You're a mailman. You're good. No, we need to be doing something. And he would look at me like I'm a nut, you know, until, you know, one day I said, you know, I have to pull it. You know, I got to make the swing for it. I got to, because I'm not feeling right. And I knew that if I did something that I wanted to do, I have to take a step at it. You know, and I didn't want to spend $500.
so you were already thinking about it. It was in your mind. You just didn't know how to take that step.
I didn't know how to take the step. I'm watching people on the internet and I'm thinking they're lying, you know, because right away the internet's lying, right? So who do I trust? I contact them and he's, this is, you know, hi, my name is Pedro. We're talking and he's like, just simply go in there. Don't be afraid. And I finally did it. I went to and I started scanning and scanning and scanning. And I was fighting items for like $49.99, $50 that I'm selling for almost $170.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm talking about brands that you don't know about. Again, I never knew about. I'm talking about Dooney and Burke,
Yeah.
purses, things that I wouldn't have. Patricia Nash, like I want to get this all out because I knew nothing of this. All I knew was the urban wear, Nike, Sean John, all that stuff, right? But there's other stuff that guys that's this small that you could put in an envelope and mail and
Yeah.
make $15 to $20 off that, and you paid $1.
Yeah.
And you could start off making bracelets. That costs $124 to put in a seal and go, So
Yeah.
you just got to find your passion. And when I found that passion, I went for it. And she was right behind me. My wife was, she didn't tell me no. She wasn't like, she was in the stores doing what I was doing.
So how does that change things, or how does it make it better having your spouse? Like, you know what I mean?
No, that makes it 100 times better to have somebody back you up the way she does.
Yeah.
I always go back to that day of crying because even in myself, I was like, don't let her see you crying. You got a mailman job. What's wrong with you? Get up. You got to get up, Frank. But, anybody who's going to love you is going to understand that, and she did that. She fell right into the what? You crying? You ain't got to try to hide. You know what I'm saying? We're going to cry. We're going to cry this out together.
Yeah.
We're going to find out what's wrong because we need you.
Yeah.
What? That's some strong stuff. I took that and I moved with it. Like when I heard that, and from to this day, we have the same relationship when we work.
Yeah.
It's like just being in the house together. When I hear people can't work together and they laugh, oh man, you work with your girl? I love working with my girl.
Yeah.
She's one of the smartest people to ever have on my team. She is my team.
Yeah.
And I'm going to back her up 100%. When I was sick or I'm down, she's going to go and do everything that I do. Everything.
Yeah.
She'll order. She don't really do too much of the ordering. That's a lot me. But anything else, packing away, I could be down, fell asleep because I'm tired. And I wake up and go, oh my God, those 23 boxes. We didn't get them out. And they're sitting by the door ready for me to take in the morning to work because they go with me to work.
Yeah.
That's incredible, and then to run a household and still be happy. And do we ever bump heads? That's normal. To anybody, that's normal. And I even had to figure that out, and I think that part of my life I changed because seeing what my mother went through as a woman, strong Latina, had to work hard. She took a lot of abuse, from my stepfather, verbal, mentally, moving around with cops in her house. We had to jump place to place. So taking all that and taking the negative and turning it positive in my household, we love. And she's like, she's been through things herself. So when we sat down at the table, she's telling me her stuff and I'm telling her stuff, and she's going for it, and we're going full throttle. And I'm telling her, hey, you're never going to be hurt and I'm never going to be hurt. And we're going to teach these kids what we didn't get that chance to know. And these kids are involved in this as well. Like even my son wanted to come and I was like, well, Papi, let me just ride this one. This isn't a convention. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to see my kids in it, or my daughter, hey, Dad, can I learn putting all this stuff into the computer? Okay, well, let's see how. 1, 2, 3 times, that's it. I can bring in packages. And I'll double check. You always want to double check your work because if you're a business, you want it, but you want to get them involved. That's the only way they're going to go on to bigger and better things.
No, I feel you.
Become a pilot.
Yeah.
Don't do what I do. Don't work with your hands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go become an accountant. Go go be a actor's accountant.
Yeah.
Do something. Use your mind.
Yeah.
And we got to show them that because we got the tool.
No, definitely.
And I got the mentality now.
Now, how do you, obviously anybody watching, anybody listening is like, yeah, I don't got time for that. Like, I don't got time to be going to Marshalls, going to, I don't know, man, go to wherever you go, Burlington, right there in Stratford or whatever. Like, I don't got time for that. Like, how do we? Because obviously you have a full-time job.
Yes.
Your wife does too.
Yes.
So how do you find time?
Well, there was a time that I was making too much time. That's a problem because when you do that with a family, you're gonna bump heads.
Yeah.
And that's one of the places we bump heads at. But again, we give that option to talk to one another. And again, she pulled me aside like, look, dude, you're always on that phone. We got 20 boxes, you're always cutting them open. We don't even go out.
Yeah.
And I had to stop and see that. Like, and everything I was spending was on sneakers.
So it's a balance.
It was a balance. It's definitely.
Yeah.
You have to have a balance because I was really going nuts. I was staying up to 2 a.m. and she would walk out recording me going, hey, and thinking I was going to be like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and she's like, wow, you really into this, huh? It's 2 a.m. I'm like, yo, I love it. This is it.
Yeah.
And, she's she's just great like that, man. We
Yeah.
find that balance. And if she needs to say something, she could say something. She's a boss.
Yeah.
You know, she could say, hey, you know, this isn't going right. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, well, let's see what we got to work that out. You know, and I should be able to go up. You know, learning from my mom and my dad, again, remember, I went through so much
Yeah.
seeing a man trying to be too strong. And,
Yeah.
you know, my mom was trying to be too strong instead of them getting together and saying their piece.
Yeah.
And, you know, back then it was so hard for them. So I use that all day. I'm in my house, especially with my kids and my wife. And even in the business, you know, we even talk, look, we're starting this, but let's not get nasty with each other. You know, you
Yeah.
got to have that. You got to have that. And we have that. I got to say, thank God. We really do have that. Like, she's not here, and I'll rep her like that all day because
Yeah.
she's really like that.
Yeah.
You know? And
No, definitely. I guess for me, you know, because for me, when I think about it, when I look at it, I'm like, man, like, obviously, you know, you have to have a love for whatever it is that you're doing to be able to find
Yes.
that time. Otherwise, we get stuck in that feeling of like, we just, you know, I remember for me years ago, you know, I used to work for the state, and I remember going to work one day, and I remember one of my buddies being like, man, yo, I be seeing all that stuff you be doing out there. Where do you find the time? Like, when I got out of work, I'm done. Like, I'm going home, I'm kicking back, and I'm done for the day, you know?
yes.
And I told him, I said, man, we all got the same 24 hours, brother. It's all in what we do in those 24 hours.
Yes.
So is that something that you kind of, you know?
Yes. I had this thing where there's 88,000 hours in a week.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time. And I've learned with those methods, if you want more, you got to give more.
Yeah.
You know, you got to learn more. You know, I was on this thing where somebody got to hand me something, and I'm
Yeah.
looking at him like, man, he got it like that. Yeah, but if you go talk to him, he told me the same answer that man told me. Put yourself in a room by yourself.
Yeah.
You're busy chilling with everybody. And that's what I was doing too. That's another thing. I had all these boys around me coming to my house, and, you know, we're drinking and we're smoking and we're chilling. And those nights I would find myself crying
Yeah.
in the morning. I wouldn't spend money, and I'm
Yeah.
going to work. I'm not happy with all that.
So how do you start the process of getting out of that? You know, I mean, we you know, we have friends, we have family, we love them. That's our people, like, you know what I mean? So we're not like, hey man, I don't want to chill with you no more, or I don't want to whatever. But how do you start to work the process to where you start to like, all right, I'm gonna spend a little less time with this dude or my brother or whatever?
That's a good question.
How is that process?
It was a crazy process. And today I still find it to be a little crazy because
Yeah.
I'm so into it that when I first got into this, I was telling people like, hey, you want to join me in this? What? Buy some sneakers and we could, you know, we'll do this together. I just
Yeah.
wanted a partner.
Yeah.
In all reality, that I do this now just by myself
Yeah.
and my wife, but that this is ours. I'm thankful that I never did that
Yeah.
because when I went and I talked to the older guys that have the boats and all that and how they have it, and they're not wearing the fancy stuff. You're busy. I'm worried about everything else, but I'm not putting in the work.
Yeah.
You want that faster than what you get in it. So I had to understand that. And through that, I literally had to start letting people go. And it wasn't easy at all. It was a transition where, hey, Frank, it's Friday. Oh yeah, I'm putting things in the computer if you want to come over.
Yeah.
And now they're sitting there and they're talking to me and they want to play music. I'm like, you gotta lower that. And now I'm not cool enough.
Yeah.
You know, now it's like, oh, all right, no, I'm do that. I'm a thing. Now the next Friday, nobody called me.
Yeah.
So it starts sliding off like that. And I'm not mad. I'm not mad because we all have to do our own thing. And I know they want to have fun, but I found something.
Yeah.
You know, I found something that was creative.
What is it though? What drives you? I mean,
It's not just the money. The money is awesome.
yeah.
And it is the money. But it's more I've always wanted to have my own store.
Yeah.
You know, I've always been into fashion big time.
So just having something that's yours.
Something that's mine that has to do with fashion.
Yeah.
You know,
And you control it.
and I can control it.
Yeah.
Yes. And bring
The
in
more you work,
merchandise. Yes.
the more you get.
If I'm gonna work hard,
Yeah.
it's gonna come out good.
And if you
know?
have if you have a shitty week,
It's because
gonna
I
see it.
didn't
You gonna
do
see
it.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's happened.
yeah.
It's happened. People will think, wow, you send like 40 boxes a day. Nah. In this business, it's not like that. And right now, in these last 8 months, I've probably struggled more than any other time. But the reason why I haven't struggled is because I put in the work.
Yeah.
I'm still calling people at work. Hey, you a size 7? I got those dunks on Blue Jays.
Yeah.
You do? Come get them. I pay $85. This guy just paid $230.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just not on the internet. I try to tell people I do it locally. I do it on the internet.
So you cold calling people like, yo, not cold calling because you know them, but you calling people who you know, and like, yo.
Well, anybody who's purchased, I realize have been purchased from me, and they're like, wow, you buy 2, 3 a week. There's people who buy from me. There's a girl from my job who the last month bought, in a week, she bought 5 shoes in a week. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I was bringing her shoes, and she's my supervisor. And I'm like, wow, you're very supportive. She's like, Franklin, you giving me dunks for 170. And I'm like, yeah, well, why? And I realized, because I'm going to, I don't want to say no name, because once again, I push for positivity. But you got sneaker stores that are opening up. And remember, they have bills.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
They got the overhead.
Lights.
Yeah, they got the overhead.
Camera, building.
Yeah.
Right? Now, myself, somebody would say, hey, Frank, why don't you go open your own? And I would tell them right now, I'm so comfortable not owning a building. I probably make as much as they do as long as I hustle.
Yeah.
If I sell 20 sneakers a day, if that sneaker costs $110, it costs $117.62 altogether, and I sold that sneaker for $230, you add that up, that's almost making $90 a sneaker like that cash. Now he's right there. Thank you.
But is it deeper than that though? Is it deeper than the money? Is it? I mean, I'm just thinking for me, like, is it the thrill? Is it like the thrill of
the
like,
rush of moving
like, yo, I just got it and just left. Yo, babe, you don't even believe. Yo, remember that order? Remember? Yo, it's gone. What? Like,
we do it all night.
Yeah.
Tonight we'll do it tonight. We're gonna look at what we sold on eBay. So now we got to go pull it out.
Yeah.
And again, nobody sees that.
Yeah.
Nobody sees how I live, where I gotta pull out gandungos with our big jugs of clothing, and I'm digging through them because it's in B1, and I got bins, so now I'm going through them, making sure the clothes are still folded,
good condition, whatever.
Great condition. Yeah. You have to do your inventory. I learned,
yeah,
people think it's just about having the stuff. I thought my first 2 years, I thought about having the stuff. I'm going to find stuff. Sneakers, I didn't know that when you bought sneakers without the boxes, that if you didn't have them in a box, the whole bottom turned yellow, of the sneaker.
Yeah.
That's money in my pocket.
Yeah.
You got people that say, hey, Frank, on Thursday, these sneakers are dropping. I want those. And I call them and they go, oh, I want them. Forget it. Just go, oh. You want to tell them blah, 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 blah. But you a business. And I tell them, no problem. Da, 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 da. And I have to get rid of that shoe. Or, there's other businesses' ways of getting my money back. Yeah. But now that's time. That's money.
Yeah.
That sneaker's not moving for 3 weeks until I get my money back.
Yeah.
Everybody forgets there's no bank that's backing me. I took this and I ran with it using my own. I opened up my own bank for this, my own money for it.
Like a separate account for
it's a separate business account for it.
So it's not interfering with the
you never want that to ever get with your own money.
We're not mingling money here.
No. I started using, again, I took out business money. I said that $500, and that's what made everything else. That little $500 that I talk about made everything else that I got.
So let's talk about that because it seems to me like you're talking about like flipping, getting money, and reinvesting that money.
Absolutely.
To then flip it and reinvest it. So all that money is just like
it keeps staying back in my business.
Yeah.
It keeps going back in my business. The only difference is as you become better in this, you find different ways of purchasing. Like it's a lot. Like for me, like there's a Discord. I'm part of a Discord group. It's all about sneakers. We talked about it earlier on how we couldn't read what's going on. I had to sit there and read the lingo of these guys because they're all younger than me and they're like this and that and this and that. And I'm watching. And finally I was picking up and here. And they're throwing out, here, grab them now. And I click the link and it's a live link of Nike and it's let me buy as many dunks as I want. And I'm like, whoa, I just bought 4 pair of these dunks and everybody could just buy one. And it's a window that opens and just closes at a certain time.
That's crazy.
And it's a guy who I paid $20 a month.
Yeah.
I paid $20 a month and I'm in this group. And every day as soon as I hear that, boop, 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 and I always have my phone watching them. Because at any time, they're just throwing out, here, grab them now. And we're the first ones to grab them. So I grab all these like that, and then I take them to conventions. I got people around me. I start making calls or I put them online. You see me putting the pictures up with the pricing.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun.
No, listen, I've seen it. I mean, I remember like watching you and you're like, yo, I just found these. Yo, they sold. And I didn't even leave the store yet. Like you found a pair of shoes. You posted the shoe. You sold it before you even got to the cash register to pay for the shoe. So when you pay for the shoe, it was already sold.
Already sold for double its price. Remember, I paid for that. I still remember $39.99. They bought it for $110.
Yeah.
Yes, I bought like 3-4 pair, and that's happened plenty of times.
Yeah.
You know, the internet is a powerful thing.
Yeah.
The internet is a tool if you use it for the right thing.
Yeah,
You know
of course, of course. Just like anything. I mean, honestly, it's like anything in life. I mean, when we talk about, tools, weapons, whatever, everything is good and it's bad. What are you going to use it for?
That's right.
This mic right here,
That's right.
I can interview you and hopefully inspire somebody. Or I can just come on here and just start talking trash and just be a scumbag, right?
Same old thing.
So it's all about that. Anything that you can get, you could use it for good or evil. You make the decision. I want to switch lanes a little bit, and obviously you're a father.
Yeah.
To how many kids?
3.
3 kids.
Beautiful.
So teenagers. Are they all teenagers?
No, 2 of them.
Two
One
of
of them on the 1st of October, he became the second one. That's my baby boy. That's Franklin Torres, Jonathan Torres, the third.
Yeah.
And then Leonia Francis Torres, she's the queen of the house. She's the oldest.
And then you got a baby.
And then we got the little 2-year-old.
Okay.
He's the actual man.
Yeah, of course. Now I wanna switch lanes a little bit and talk about, I don't want to talk about your kids, that's your business, but I want to talk about how you're doing, working your job. You have your side hustle.
Yeah.
That's really becoming like more than just a side hustle.
Yes.
You know what I mean? How are you using this to help you with how you're raising your kids? Not financially. Sure, this is probably, we got money for Disney World now. Like, okay, cool, whatever. But like, how are you using this to teach them different things?
Question. That's a good one. Believe it or not, this has taught me a lot. It's taught me to keep kids involved.
Yeah.
Like, and not just in the sneaker. I mean, in everything. When we walk around.
Yeah.
And Dad, stop. No, Leonida, do you see that? You can, that's you. You want to do makeup? We can open up your own salon.
Yeah.
Who do you think's going to clean it? I am.
Yeah.
I'm your dad. I push them for those type of things to let them know that times are different.
Yeah.
And when you let your kids know things like that so young,
yeah,
because my mom did, and I know she would have worked, but now we got those tools. And this, believe it or not, has taught me how to talk to them, how to be more relaxed.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy. It's taught me how to get them involved on not just schoolwork, watching the news with me, taking time, take guys, all tablets off.
Yeah.
Let's learn something new. Let's get our reading on. We just recently started maybe like a month ago of twice a week. We're gonna no tablets and just all books. Sounds crazy, but we're used to all that stuff. And we stopped. I remember when I was young, it was correazo limpio. We had to do it. You know what I'm saying? But I think if you do it right, and this has really taught me, man, keep them involved. Keep them involved with everything, not just the sneakers.
So at first, were they like, yo, Poppy, what are you doing? Or was it more like...
At first, they thought that I was a hoarder.
Yeah.
Because I was buying so much as I got into this business. Again, that could be a downfall too.
Yeah.
Over buying and feeling confident, move slow.
Yeah.
Move slow. I moved pretty fast, and thank God I kind of knew what I was doing, but there was a part that we almost got tangled up on, but we caught it.
Yeah.
And it was easy. Let's get merchandise out
before
you bring in merchandise and you're not moving anything.
Yeah.
So things like that. But keeping them into this and making sure that they know that they could do whatever they want, man. And I want them to do whatever they want, man. And I want to be there when it happens. Like, she has this thing with art.
Yeah.
I follow all these art guys online because I like art.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. But her and her mother are great at art. And I tell her, you can go right across the street downtown and open up a gallery, man.
Yeah.
You can start selling your art live, music. And I've been running up to her and showing her, and she's coming out and showing me her art. Just keeping them inspired with what they like to do, hear what they like to do too. Because I was at a time where I got too involved, where it's like, nah, Frank, look, you can start pushing these Jordans. You need to go to school and start talking. No, they don't need to do that.
Yeah.
He needs to get his own craft. He needs to want to learn his own thing and build himself up to be himself. And I got to help him with that.
Yeah.
But this doing all this has helped me with patience. It really has. But at first they thought I was kind of crazy bringing all these sneakers in. Now they're just, if I say, hey, Papi, could you go grab me? Oh, they'll run.
Yeah.
And when I get to conventions, my kids have been with me to conventions. Everybody who knows us is like, wow, you guys got a family thing going here. It's like, yeah, I bring that's crazy. Nobody brings their family, but that's a good thing.
You know, it's crazy because I mean, I'm thinking about it now. That's like a selling point too. Like, you know, it's somebody who's looking to buy, and like, I'm about to support that family. I ain't about to, like, you know what I mean?
You know,
like,
I thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, and you're not doing it for that,
No.
but somebody looking is like, oh, yo, I'm about to. They got the whole family. Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
about to
they
support
helped
that.
me from the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's tiring.
Yeah.
You know, getting up at 4 a.m. to go rent the truck. Now I gotta take the sneakers, you know, right what the prices are, you know, pack them up, you know, bring tables, chairs, extra tables, clothes, gandungos of clothes, and they are full blown.
Yeah.
They're happy in the truck, and when we get home, we're tired.
Yeah.
Because it's like a full blown job.
Of course.
You know, it really is. So,
and by the way, for those of you who are listening to the podcast, if you're not watching on YouTube, if you're listening, we're right now, we're in the BU Theater in downtown Bridgeport. Shout outs to Gary Peterson from the BU Theater. Beautiful venue here. We're recording this podcast. But we're sitting right in front of a table of maybe about 20, maybe about 15 pairs of all different. I see some Jordans, some Yeezys, Dunks, a little bit of everything. So if you're listening to the podcast, you know, we've been making a lot of references to this. Is because every time he says this, he's pointing at the shoes that are sitting right behind us. Just as kind of like a little display of what it is that he does and he sells. And some of those is fire. I got some of those sitting at home actually. But yeah, so that's what we're doing now. You've mentioned a few times conventions, right? Yes. And you going to conventions, you're taking your family and all that good stuff. And so I want to talk about that a little bit. First of all, I want to talk about competition. Yes. You know, and does that exist? Yes. At conventions, and how do you feel about it? And not only how do you feel about it, but how have you matured? Because I'm sure you're matured in it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
My first convention, I felt just like I just did now. I felt like that. I walked in.
Yeah.
And I mean, salute to all these youngsters. I mean, I get a lot of kicks. I get a lot of fresh kicks. A lot of these kids are actually grinders, and they won't buy a specific shoe, like one of those. They'll go only for the hottest shoe and have 100. You know, like, and that had me going, oh snap! He got all Yeezy chancletas, a wall.
Yeah,
you know, that's all he's selling, the hottest. You feel me? You get like that, but when you get in there and you set up, and you realize, wow, I got a store.
Yeah,
like, I mean, tables lined up, and I had a square where people just walk around and it's all yours, and they're looking at, and this table's yours, and this table's yours, and you're like, yeah, and my wife's over there, and my son's, oh, you want a size? And I'm watching, and it was beautiful.
Yeah,
you know, as far as the competition, you could see the competition. There's a lot of young kids. Yeah. I'm 42. Yeah. I'm not young in this game, so that don't bother me like that. That don't really. I'm not there to beat nobody.
Yeah,
I'm there to beat myself and to try to make sure we get seen. And I'm doing sneaker stuff. Yeah. I'm not there for but when I first got there, it could be a little bit, you know, what do you call that? Nerve-wracking, because you're like, wow, look at this guy. This guy got nothing but retros on his. Don't worry about that. I don't worry about his table because I got dunks, I got retros. You know, mine is different, his is different, that girl's is different. You know, everybody should be different. So I'm a saluter. I'm not one that goes in there and be like, you see a lot of people walking by your table like, oh, snap. He's dangerous, you know, because it's just not this.
Yeah,
I have over 600 products. You know, it's Supreme, it's sneakers, it's clothing, and when I wrap this stuff up, and when you're walking around it, and I mean pictures of Supreme, I mean all types of stuff, and people are just grabbing stuff and here, and you're just swapping, and you're realizing at the end of the night, you're just sitting in the back of a truck counting money, and you're going, wow, we really did this.
Yeah,
we really came in here with all this stuff, no money. And almost leaving out of here with G's in our pocket, and like we're a store closing down for the night.
Yeah.
Imagine if I quit my job and I did this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
You know, I've kind of thought about that too, which it won't happen. But I'm just saying, the money to be made in this business is great. You know, but I think you gotta have a passion for it. It's just not the money; it's the love of being around it, wanting to do it. When I'm folding my clothes, I'm real specific. If you go to my house, everything's specific. It's like a store, you know? And you know, you got to have a passion for it. So when I walk in there, the owner, remember, he's the owner of the Drop Alert,
Yeah.
which is the Discord. So he knows me like that. He knew my family. He was like, wow, he gave us an extra table because, wow, you know, you're a family dude like that. He didn't even know that. I'm like, yeah, you know, thanks, man. You know, no, man. And very supportive. I'm very supportive. And he has over 100 plus vendors in there, you know? And there was over almost 2,500 people running through there.
Oof.
You know, so it gets crowded, it gets busy, it's loud and stuff, but the adrenaline rush of seeing everybody else working too, that's because there's all types of vendors. There's sneakers, there's people selling all types of weird things. But I go in there with a goal. Like we all, right before we leave, we're saying a prayer, getting in there, like, let's go, guys. This is it. We're here. We're doing it. All right. Let's go out there. And my kids get a cut. You know?
Yeah.
They know they're going to get a cut. You know, this is your business too. I want you to understand that if you're going to work this business, you're going to get something.
Of course.
And they're,
of course.
No, Dad, nah, keep your money. We came in here to help you out.
Yeah.
You know? And that helps me know that, wow, you guys are really grabbing it.
Yeah.
You know, even though I force it on them, but they're grabbing it.
Yeah.
You know, that's Poppy. I'm not going to, we're going to go help Poppy out, you know? And they're just like that, man. And that's why I'm really thankful, because if me and my wife were to do that, we would be exhausted. And they're carrying, loading, building stuff, and they're working just like we are. I go to look, he's selling sneakers on this side, she's selling a shirt on that side. And it's like, wow, look at y'all. Where I run up behind them and I let them do the transaction.
Yeah.
He said 70, right, Bob? Yeah. Remember, you could take off 10.
Yeah.
You know, because that's another thing in this business. You buy this at your cost. Some of these sneakers that cost $110, I didn't pay $110 for.
Yeah.
When you start finding out ways to buy them, you buying them cheaper, and you're still getting, bless you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
you're still getting the full payment of that sneaker.
Yeah.
And the good thing about the whole thing is that I know so many people that when they come and buy a sneaker from me, I'm not a stiffler. Like, if those are $230 online, you're not paying $230 with me. If I pay $110 for that sneaker, I'm going to charge you $160, $170. I'm going to make $40 off that sneaker. I would never, to none of my friends. You ask my boss, I think that's why she came back 5 times. You know, she's buying dunks. She's like, she bought Panda Dunk, size 5.5.
Yeah.
And it was very rare. I knew it was very rare. And everybody was selling it for $300, $280. And I'm going, man, I could get that money. And my boss hits me with the, hey, could I get a Panda? Boom. Yep, for you. Boom, 160. You're going to give me this? She understood it. How would you do that? But that's the good thing about being my own boss. I'm still going to make $60 off you.
Yeah.
I don't need to do that to you.
Yeah.
You know, because I want you to come back faster. You know, for that, you could go to Rundown, or you can go to the Sneaker Mansion, and, you know, you're going to pay for that. But you can come see me, and you're going to pay a decent price. You know, and I still do want to make my work from it. But at the same time, I'm not trying to go overload on anybody. That's the difference between me. And a lot of people don't know that.
Well, you know, a lot of people who are coming up, young people our age who are coming up, and they have this entrepreneur kind of you know itch that they want to scratch.
Yes.
And they're trying to figure out, okay, what can I do to be an entrepreneur? What can I do to be my own businessman, to own my own, to do that, right? And they're trying to figure it out. And what's not on their radar is that you can still work a 9 to 5.
Yes.
And have that on the side, right? And that way, you know, something happens, you know, that's there, but you can also work it on the side, and you can still make a business out of it, right? And so, what I want to do with the next question is that I want to kind of like talk to them, right? Not specifically people who sell shoes, but just anybody. Me, with what I do, right? What would you say has been kind of like some of the pros of holding a job while you're doing this on the side, and why haven't you said, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and just do this? If you know that you could bring in the kind of money.
Yes, that's a really good question. The pros is it's the money too.
Yeah,
I can't sit here and say it's not the money. The money is definitely, you know, that's definitely one of the reasons why we do this.
Yeah, but if you left your job and just did this.
Oh, it would be a problem.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason why I haven't done that is because, you know, I work for a federal agency, so I wouldn't get benefits. You know, those are the only reason why.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of love my job. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna sit here
Yeah.
and say that I don't love. I kind of like what I do.
So you
know,
got the
I
best of
really
both
do.
worlds.
I really do.
Yeah.
And when I was telling you, when I was crying, when I was a CCA, I had to go 4 years before I became a regular and had my own route. And I couldn't accept that. You know, I'm sitting there going, no, I need to be thinking, no, man, I need this now. I need to be home with my family. And I was really getting claustrophobic at work.
Yeah.
The day they told me, hey, you're a regular, everything to this day is beautiful.
Yeah.
When I go to work, you'll have people come up to you and go, man, how do you wake up like that? Yo, you got to.
Yeah.
I wake up like this.
Yeah.
I wake up my kids like this. Sometimes my daughter, Bob, stop with could we just change the rise and grind thing? Could we change it? You know, come on, rise and grind, guys, baby. This world is ours today. You know, he gave it to us. He gave us the light. Let's work with it.
Yeah.
You know, and the pros are, it's the money. And I think there's pros and cons. Cons, I think of now as, you know, wanting to do the little things more, like going out a little bit more.
Yeah.
But when I think when you have a good partner, I think you do that between you and her. And, you know, just like she whispered in my ear, hey, I think Friday we need a date night.
Yeah.
Oh, then we're going to have a date night.
Got you. Yeah.
Yes. So you have to have that in there.
Yeah.
You know, but I love my job. Being a mailman, but my benefits are great. My pay only keeps going up.
Yeah.
I have my own route. I know the same people. I do the same thing every day.
Well, I guess the reason I bring it up is because, you know, we seem to think that it's one or the other.
Yes.
We're either going to be a 9-to-5er or we're going to be an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And it's like, no, we don't have to pick.
No.
Like I mean, if you want to go right ahead, but we don't have to pick. We could do both. You know, you could do this, and that'll help you support this for a little while. And then, you know what? Whenever the time comes, then you just say, you know what? I'm out. I'm just going to do this.
Yes. Now, do I have dreams of one day
at
maybe
some point
this going to where it's going, if it keeps going the way it's going?
Yeah.
Oh man, yes. Really, yes. If this could go the same way within the next 1.5 to 2 years,
yeah,
I would love to see that, man. And it could happen. It really could happen.
What's your advice to the young folks, you know? And when I say young, I don't mean young as in age. I mean young in the game of entrepreneurship, not necessarily shoe flipping, but just entrepreneurship. What's your advice?
That's a good one, because going to the conventions, I met a couple of them.
Yeah.
One of them was selling hats. The other one had his logos on a shirt, and they were just getting into it. But my point was, find something. There's so much that even right now, learning this, that I didn't know, that there's a lot of stuff out there. I mean, even right now, I still think that I want to get into some of it.
Yeah.
Like, that's how much time I still think there's free time.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds crazy, but even making our own shirts, you know, branding my own shirts or branding my own hats.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people doing that and blowing up with this stuff.
Yeah.
But they got to be, you know, you got to want it.
Yeah.
You know, you were hungry. You know, your story showed me that you were hungry. I watched you, and the hungriness, you know, I had to show my kids. I was like, look, this is great. This is a person from our community, Latino, strong king. He's doing his thing. Look, he built his brand, and he's not stopping. You know, you're finding other ways. You're meeting new people.
Yeah.
You're networking. You're finding, you know, whether it's new cameras or just new mics or new ways of having conversation. That's a beautiful thing. We need to think like that. But I think, again, to the young youth, it starts with the parents.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to say that because as I'm 42, I watch the news a lot now.
Yeah.
And I'm more of a parent, and I can't, this is how I think. I can't see my son or my daughter being here on this earth knowing that I could show them everything that I can, and now I'm not on this earth, and now they're struggling.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to leave them here with that. I want to leave them here with the best findings that I could give them, because we could give them, you know, because I got the knowledge now, and I want to let it out in so many ways.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm still learning too.
Yeah.
I'm still a work in progress. I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
You know, because my faith is high. Now, do I go to church every day? No. But my whole being raised, I was an altar boy for 17 years growing up. You know, so I know what that's about, you know? So I always had that in my house. So you don't have to have your altar just to go to church. You know, my altar's everywhere. I pray everywhere. I'm thankful everywhere. And that's the first thing I'm teaching my kids. Yo, be thankful. Once you're thankful, you start understanding the rest. When you for the little things, not the big thing, not the watch, for the little things. Because, you know, when I was younger, I was so into the wanting to be, you know, be looked at as some way, and wanting people to look at me in some type of way. I think I just have to build my character and show and really mean it as
Yeah.
well. You know, you can't go chill with the boys and be one way and then be somebody different. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I was
Yeah.
still in that thing. Now I could go places and I could be in a room full of guys and talk about my wife and have 5 guys go, wow, you really, that's dope. You and your wife get along like that. Why? You and your wife don't? And they'll say, nah, no, not really. But that's, you just keep saying that, and it's kind of, and it empowers me
Yeah.
because, you know, just being in the job that I'm at, I'm around a lot of guys, and all I hear, you don't want to work this job.
Yeah.
Why? Could I ask you a question? How long have you been? Oh, 38 years. But you're gonna stop a young man like me and tell me don't do that?
Yeah.
Where do we push one another?
Yeah.
Where I had that guy turn around, me and him are like this now. He's like, man, you know, I still remember that. You gave me such a smart answer. You made me feel crazy. It's like, yeah, I'm a smart Latino, but I want to be smarter. And I just started this. You did 38 years. This is my first year. Why wouldn't you tell me, you know, the tricks of the trade? Why would you break me down like that? And anybody who you talk to now that comes up under me, I'm giving them a jacket.
Yeah.
You know, I'm giving them a helmet if I got an extra one. He's asking me, and I'm probably going to do it. I'm not upset. And they'll turn around and tell you, like, man, you're the only person I'm mad in this place. Nah, I don't live my life like that. I go home and I smile.
Yeah.
Are things bad? Yeah.
Of course. Of course.
You got to learn how to get over that, and what's next?
Of course. Of course. Of course.
Know,
so tell us, you know, before we get out of here, tell us a little bit about where we can find you.
Man, I started on eBay. Before the Trendy Academy got on Instagram, it all started on eBay. So I always give eBay its props.
So eBay, so it's Trendy Academy on eBay?
The Trendy Academy on eBay, just like it is on Instagram. We just got TikTok out just to get more, you know, more scenery. You know, try to be funny with the videos. I see everybody doing videos. You got to lock on to that. And my daughter kind of controls that. You know, so she'll grab 3.
What you need to do, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, and it's gonna be it's recorded, so I can go back to it. What you need to do is you need to go on TikTok, and you need to make videos where you're talking about what you're talking about here. All these tricks that you're talking about, you should make videos on there talking about it. You should have your wife follow you with a camera and beep, look,
man, I was gonna do that.
Whatever.
It would be good
and
enough.
just put it out.
Man,
what's gonna happen? Somebody like me is gonna look at it and be like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." I'm a like, you know what I mean?
And that's how I got it. Believe it or not, that's how I see it.
Well, I mean, you just told me a little while ago that you started because you saw some kid.
Yes.
From Venezuela.
And he recorded the whole thing.
Yeah.
He walked into a Marshall's.
So if it worked for you, it worked for the next guy. Like, you know what I mean? So if I was you, I would do that and just let that. I mean, you don't know where that can go. You know what I mean?
Yes, man.
And just do that, because that's what's really popping over there is you know that kind of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? So if I were you, I would do that. Like just what do you call it? Just document the whole journey.
Absolutely, I'm gonna do that.
A day in the life.
Sounds like a
day in the life of Training Academy. You get up in the morning and tell your daughter, "Yo, babe,
man,
follow me around today. We're about to find something good today."
That's a great man right there.
It'd be crazy, because you can imagine if you got like a crazy ass deal and you got to like record it. You're like, "Yo, I recorded the whole thing."
Absolutely. And people are doing that these days.
I mean, there's one thing for somebody to be right now on Spotify listening to this interview and like, "Oh, that sounds cool." It's a whole nother thing for them to watch a video on TikTok and it's like, "Yo,
yes,
he just flipped
visual
that bracelet.
The best. Absolutely,
he bought it for $2. He just got 20. He's got 1,000% on a bracelet.
You got me over here mind tripping.
Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. And that's just a whole nother, you know. And then I think that's the way where you can also get your kids involved. Because I'm sure your daughter, I'm sure she'll be like, "Oh my God, yeah, let's do it, whatever." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that's a whole nother that's a whole nother side where you could be like, "Yo," and then she might, and I'm just thinking, you know,
she just starts
that she might just be like, "Yo,
mind open.
Yo, Dad, can you buy me a camera? I want to start learning how I can make these videos better for you." And then she starts getting creative with the camera.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Like, you know what I mean? One thing leads to the other.
That's what I'm
and then now she's not necessarily like, "Oh, Dad, you know, I gotta pack up these shoes. Nah, baby, I'm about to go to the convention. I need you to document this whole thing. A day at the convention at the Training Academy."
Wow.
And his daughter's just there recording everything. Like,
wow, you hear that, Nye?
And then she might, you know, it might be something. I mean, it might not, right? But it might be something that she picks up and she's like,
great.
"Yo,
totally
I'm gonna do this," or maybe not, like whatever, right? But you just never know where it can go. What do you call it? So I don't even know how I went on that whole tangent, but it just
that's all right.
Just something to kind of think about. You know,
that's a good.
But before we get out of here, what I wanted to say was, before we get out of here, I want to talk a little bit about you, right? I like to end my interviews with just a few kind of random questions, just to kind of lighten up the mood a little bit, and just to kind of show people that, man, you a hustler, You work hard, you're a family, whatever, but you're a regular dude, just like I'm a
Nah,
regular.
I'm
Like
just a
we're just a
regular
regular dude, you know. And so the first question is, right now, what's on repeat in your car right now? What you listening to right now?
Rick Ross.
Which one? Which one?
Uh,
Is there?
Get Rich or Die Trying.
No, give Richard that trying is 50.
Well, no.
He has a song
I'm
called
sorry, Richer.
Richer.
You heard me? 50. I'm sorry.
Oh, yo,
Totally right.
yo.
I totally, and then they have a beef, right?
I'm gonna clip this part. I'm gonna clip this part. Like,
That's a good one.
No,
Now
no, no.
I have Rick Ross, Richer. I'm on.
Yeah.
In the yeah.
That's it right now.
Yeah, I like Rick Ross. You
Yeah.
know, his way of thinking of just, if you hear his story and if you read his books, how he elevated, and Rick Ross is in the Forbes list. He went from a rapper. He's not a rapper. This guy is a mogul of taking his money and putting it in upper pockets, buying brands and helping other. You know, he's a black man, so he's helping other black people who open up their own chips.
Yeah.
He's putting his money into that, and it's blowing up.
Yeah.
You know, buying cars. He has 2 new museum that's, you know, so I try to think like that, but not in the money sense, in the thinking bigger.
Yeah.
You could, you know, when I see him in the morning, he reminds me of you.
Yeah.
Get up, say good morning. What are you gonna do today?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Let's go. There's too much time. You guys are sitting there, you playing your thing, you're smoking, you want to go out, and you're crying about money though, right? You can't cry about money. You can't cry about happiness. You can't cry about, oh man, he thinks he's all that. No, you can't say that because that man done worked hard.
Yeah.
You know, so to the people in my community, I think we just gotta continue to tell our kids what they could be, man, and we need to stay on them. You know, we got to make sure that our kids aren't in the street. You know, that's the biggest.
Nah,
like
I feel you.
for me, you know, like I love Bridgeport and I love my community, and if I could show all of the youngsters how to do this in a big, whether it's in the back of a subway, whether it's in, you know, anywhere, sitting down bit by bit to help them out. You know, these kids need some type of outlet. You know, they're crying out here for an outlet. They need something. You know, they had the skating ring. You know, in Seaside, and you know, things like that. But just bringing back people like yourself that are showing, just not kids, just older people, younger people, how to think a little bit better.
Yeah.
How to get their minds.
Well,
right.
I think, you know, for me, I just think that that there's not a right age to rethink your life, to rethink what you're doing. And that's why earlier when I asked you the question about, you know, advice to entrepreneurs, we're not just talking about kids. You can be 65.
Yes.
You're just retired and you're about to start your own thing.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about. Now, the second question is, what's your favorite dish?
Oh man, it's just the normal arroz con andule, con pernil. Yes, I'm a straight body.
Yeah,
I'm straight con pernil,
and where's the best place to get it? Aside from 2 things, aside from your house and aside from your mom's house.
Tito Puente, City Island.
Okay.
Tito Puente, City Island, man.
Yeah.
If you haven't tried it.
Nah, I never.
Oh.
It goes down.
It goes down. The plato de rice, the camarones are this big, you know?
Yeah. I never been.
Oh, man, it's great. We got to head out there.
I was in the city on Saturday at the Wisin y Yandel concert over there at the Garden. Yeah. But whenever we go out there, we always hit up BBQs. That is BBQs.
Oh, that's banging. Come on, I forgot BBQs.
The wings is retarded.
Wow, you about to make me run out there tonight.
Nah, it was crazy. It was crazy. But what do you call it? Bro, thank you so much, man.
Nah,
thank you
Eddie.
By the way, I'm looking outside. There's people walking around. Thank you so much for coming through, man. It was definitely you know, just great to have you here. Great to hear the story. Great to hear the journey that you've been on, because we don't get to see that. We only see you out there hustling shoes and whatever, and we don't get to see where it came from.
I'm thankful for that.
And how everything plays a part. Mental health plays a part in it. Family plays a part in it. Like, it all plays a part. But once you discover, you know, that thing, that purpose, that gift, and you start playing with it, all of a sudden it starts affecting your whole life.
Yes, it becomes
so all of a sudden something where you was like, yo, oh my God, man, like I'm kind of sad, babe. I don't know what to do. All of a sudden you're doing this thing. And sure, it's feeding you, and it's feeding that whatever that emptiness was that you had inside of you, but it's also feeding your kids, not in the money and food way, but in a way where they're seeing it, they're learning.
Yes.
Now you and your wife.
That's the bigger picture.
Yeah. No, the kids, they're learning from it. You and your wife, your relationship is probably way different now than it was 5-6 years ago, you know, because there's more there than just that, right?
Yes.
And so there's more there, and then people get to see it. And so it's funny how when we take the time to really discover, because I don't like to say find. I don't like to say, oh, I'm trying to find myself. There's nothing to find. It ain't lost. You ain't lost.
Right.
You're right there.
That's right.
If you're watching this, if you're listening, you're right there. Whatever that thing is that you need is inside of you. You just got to discover it. You just got to dig deep.
Yes.
Dig deep.
And it's
keep
hard
digging.
for people.
And no, it's hard.
It's there.
It's hard. But the hardest part is not getting started. But once you get started, like you said, that's it. That's when the door opens.
It's the wheel. It keeps going.
You know, and that fear of like, yeah, I could already imagine you like, yo,
and
babe.
your filter.
I can imagine your conversation, yo, babe. Yo, what if it doesn't work?
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
But what if it does, bro?
That's the answer right there. You could say, what if it doesn't? But what if it doesn't? You haven't tried. And there's another point. When I was selling these sneakers, I made mistakes. I made mistakes on sending a pair of sneakers to Europe that was supposed to go to Cleveland, and Cleveland got Europe's. Now, I could have left that alone and got now my 100 points on eBay, which I still have 100% positivity. That's why people want to buy, because they've never been messed up by us. I literally I panicked and was jumping out like, here we go. This is it. We're going to fail. Our first one. My wife kicked in. Again, your partner. Now we have to communicate. If we're a business, if we communicate, it's not going to fail. The whole thing went so well. We got the sneakers from this one and said, sorry, there was there've been a mix-up. We have your sneakers here. We're sending them out now. Send us back those sneakers. The same thing to that person. And it went smooth as long as, oh, no problem. Boom, boom, boom. And they both gave us stars. My whole point is, when you thought you was about to fail, if you take your time and stop and think, we're still 100%.
Yeah.
All because we communicated as a business.
I think that's a great way to
don't give up, man.
To a great way to end it, man. Communication, don't give up, keep going. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, the Trendy Academy everywhere. Just put Trendy Academy, it'll come up. Follow them. Buy some shoes. I might have to get on that trip and get me some shoes too. But please check it out, man. And again, just whatever it is, just take that step, man. You never know where it can land. It landed this man with I don't know how much money you make, but it landed this dude with a good side hustle.
Yes.
Where you
want constant income. That's why I do it.
You started with $500.
$500. And what I started doing was retail arbitrage. Write that down.
$5.
Read it. And $500. I walked in there and bought a bunch of shirts
and without giving any specific numbers, we're looking at like 5 digits.
$500.
No. You started with 500, so that's 3 digits.
Yeah.
All right. In the account right now.
Oh, in the account right now, we up there, guys. We up at almost 3 digits.
Oh well, no. So we're at 3 or 500. So if you're talking like in the teens, if you're getting close to like 100,000, that's 6 digits.
Oh, we almost.
Okay.
We almost.
So
that's why I'm saying.
So for 500,
yes,
you're close to like.
We're almost at 80. And my first year,
80,000.
Yeah, my first year was like 13. The second year was like 30.
Got it.
Fourth year, it was like 60.
Yeah.
And now you're going, holy shit. Now remember, now I'm doing it locally. Yeah. For those years, it was just doing money on eBay. Now I'm doing this locally where it's all cash at hand, or they send it to you on the Cash App. But you want to stay away from those apps too, because remember, taxes, guys.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the taxes. And that's another thing we got on lock. Always make sure your taxes in this, don't forget, they want their money. So always write down, always keep a log on what you're getting, what's going out, because that right there is the biggest, taxes. I ain't talk about that. But tax season comes around. When you make a lot of money like that, they're going to be watching every little thing. But as long as you got a log, you're good, And I have never, my taxes aren't bad. They don't kill me. My wife does the taxes. Again, that partnership, that's what she takes over, and she really does. And for these last couple years, man, they've, I'm saying to myself, gotta be careful what I make at my job and not with this, But thank God everything comes out clear, because you keep a log and you run this right because you love it. If you love something, you're gonna take care of it. So, and with a partner like that, you can't go wrong. So
that's
again,
it,
Eddie, man, I thank
you. Bro,
you.
we live right there, man. Frankie, thank you so much. Frankie Franklin.
Yo, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
No, of course. No, and we gotta catch up soon.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and hit next for the next next episode. Right now, let's go.
Come on, press that like, share. Let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you, Eddie, man.